idea came to me. The idea came to me that perhaps this might be the season of the dark horse. Now, why would I think it was the season of dark? Well, no, it's just a feeling I have. Haven't you ever had a feeling? Something in your gut that tells you something. If not, then look at the facts. My dear man, that would be your second best option. So I never let a gut feeling at some point encounter some research. If I trust the gut feeling, I still say, well, that's the right thing to do. A lot of times it is. A lot of times it ain't. But you do have to trust your gut. You have to at least be able to trust your gut. If you have something tells you something, it's probably true. Trust your gut. So, have the guts to trust your guts with your team this year, whichever team it may be. I'm already confused as about what team I'm supposed to cheer for because my fans tell me I should cheer for a different team because I don't like the outcomes of the ones that we got. Just don't. I don't like the way my team is behaving, so I have to find another one. So, is that how it works? Whatever team you either have or have to have, if you do follow it, you should probably pay attention to what they're doing. But most of you trust your gut and automatically knee-jerkily assume that they know what they're doing. Never question the king, so to speak. Well, certainly wouldn't go questioning a king personally. But if I was speaking to a king, I know I could speak the truth in any matter and not offend him. So that's your ticket to freedom. You can say what you want if you believe it's true. Why wouldn't you? You know it's true. You ain't gonna tell nobody about it? What a selfish, you know what you are, huh? You can speak what you believe to be true, and you should not offend anyone. Now, if you had an ounce of learning, as Grandma would say, you probably wouldn't say too many wrong things to the wrong people. Have some consideration for others at all times, even your enemies. Because if you're truthful, what is your enemy? He's a liar. Otherwise, he would agree with you, wouldn't he? We're on a roll here. Don't get me started. But you already did. Maybe. No, I was doing a video about the 5 dark horses, feeling in my gut that dark horses might shine this year. Don't know why, just a gut feeling. So, if I'm right, these 5 teams might be the ones to watch. That's it. That doesn't interest you. That doesn't interest you. Go back to watching the court shows. I don't care. But if you care about next season, you need to know which teams to care about, and you're probably caring about the wrong ones. Because it's going to be a strange year in my gut. And I was talking about the teams I feel in my gut were going to make a big move, and I still believe they could, and they might even do it. And one reason they might be able to is because the old guard has gotten lazy. There is no giant to beat. There's no SEC unbeatable team. They all have flaws. They just do. Every one of them has a major flaw. Every team in the country has a flaw. And a lot of them could be fatal if they weren't managed properly. But it's very hard to have an unflawed team with a flawed system, isn't it? I mean, what magician could pull it off? I don't think we know them. I don't think they're hanging around our place. These magicians who are ahead of the times, who know in advance when to make a move because they sense a pattern shift. But the people that's pretty fat and comfy right now don't like to hear the wind blowing. And I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry you forgot about the wind. Gone with the wind? No, that's too easy. Don't make this job too easy for me. Come on, make me work for it. And now for the fun part. Those of you who have watched this video to this point have simply entered the passcode to get in. Now we begin to speak. Now we begin to speak, you see, amongst ourselves. We know. And this little club, all we want are facts. We don't want any BS, but you can have your opinions. Now, what we have learned from Indiana is that there is a new template freely available where Kirk Cinetti has revealed the secret to the perfect football team. In other words, that'll win. What he did will always win, and we're going to talk about why. And I want you type in the comments the first reason that Kirk Cinetti won. Like, what's the main thing he did? I'm contending he did 7 things. We'll talk about those 7 things. I'd like to find out which one you believe are the most important of those 7. Type in the comments what you think made Indiana work. Y'all watched it. You saw the team. Everybody knows it works. They proved it. Type in your reason, and we're going to talk about it. You and me are going to discuss it. I'm not going to just jabber the rest of the video. But there are 7 things that he did. Type in what you think is the most important right now. Do it now. Because now we're going to talk about it, and you can always delete it if it sounded stupid. But you're probably right. And there might even be some things that disagree with my 7 things, but they'll probably be in the same idea. Let's talk about it. What made Indiana work? Can somebody who only has $20 million to spend make it work? Yes. Everybody who has $20 million to spend can make it work. If you got a spare $20 million, you could build Indiana. Now, when everybody figures out the formula, it won't quite be as valuable as Coca-Cola's formula or Kentucky Fried Chicken's because everybody knows it. They can just make it at home. The formula isn't that complicated, and I think you'll agree that there's 7 main things, and if any team, and it'll take about $20 million to really implement it. You can't do this without the dirt. I mean, but everybody can spend $20 million. It's perfectly legal. Even the president can't change that tomorrow. Well, maybe he could. Assuming that's not the case, that Trump doesn't come in and solve college football like he's solved world events overnight, instant success. Unless that happens, we'll talk about what probably will happen, and it'll probably last at least a few years. The system is broke. It may have a sudden solution, but until it fixes itself, Indiana can be repeated easily. The first thing you gotta have is the Indiana scheme. Oh no, that already eliminates most of the SEC coaches because they will never change their scheme. Even at the 3-8, they still stick with their schemes and not trading that in, but you have to. It's the first thing. You have to have the operating mechanism, the scheme. And what is that? To put it kind of in some kind of football line is that he understands you have to go deep. You have to pass downfield. So you're going to need a good quarterback. You're going to need 2 or 3 really good receivers, probably 5. And they need to be a certain kind of receiver. They have to be dominant. They have to be able to catch. They have to be really good receivers. You need 5 of them. you can get by with 3. And you need a good edge rusher. You have to have those things. He goes out and gets the vital parts that you have to have. You have to have a good offensive line. They have to protect the quarterback for 3 seconds, any day, any snap. Because the offense, the scheme, is based on the quarterback being able to get the ball out within 3 seconds. And that's really what football is now. If you can't do that, it's not your game anymore. There are plenty of kids who can get a play out in 3 seconds, even if they can't read a defense. But that's just part of it. How's the run game fit in? Well, we'll get to that. But when you run Indiana's scheme, the running game will take care of itself. Because basically, every snap, you're making the secondary at least cover somebody. You're making the defense work really hard by sending out 3 or 4 targets and have a quarterback that they know can slice you with the slightest mistake, slightest window, he'll make it hurt. Most teams don't have a good secondary, so you attack that, you attack it early, and if you're any good, you'll be ahead 21-0. And so it's get ahead, stay ahead, keep doing what you're doing, and go home the winner. But you don't need 4 deep at every position like Georgia's trying to build. You need what you need, and it ain't all that. So the Fat Cats, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, they're not going to even look at what they're doing over there. They're not going to change their scheme for anything. That's their whole existence. Their identity is in their scheme. Don't tell them to change their scheme, but you got to. It's an easy scheme, something Georgia was doing in 22. Not much different. Except you don't have to have that much supersized talent overload. That plan works. Get the ball downfield. Keep them in cover 2. And be able to win either way. And so you can attack the underneath, and defense can never stay ahead of you. Attack it too much. A secondary essentially can't hold up on a certain amount of attack. Its offense is going to win the majority of the battle. The window's open. You can mathematically guarantee that the windows will be there. All you gotta do is have a quarterback that can see it and hit it. Something a lot of teams don't have. But Indiana had to have it, and they did. It's a system that can be duplicated, and I guarantee you there's going to be some teams in the SEC that are probably already trying to do that. And none of them are named Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, or even LSU. None of those teams, maybe LSU, none of those teams are trying to build the Indiana scheme. No one's trying to mimic that, but maybe LSU might be. But there are some schools in the country there are, but the SEC is always kind of slow in adjusting. We're kind of stubborn down here. Don't tell us how to play football, boy. Yeah. Well, Indiana showed you how to play football. You ought to pay attention.